Trident Show. I'm Vivian. Today we're discussing how computer music impacts the music industry and how to distinguish it from traditional instrumental music. It's our great honor to have three guests from the UCSD Music Department. Let's meet Jamie, Lily, and Brian. How are you guys doing today?
Very good. How about you?
Pretty good.
I'm good, thank you. So you all major in computer music, ICAM music, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Do you still play some music instruments? What do you play?
I play mainly guitar. I also dabble in synthesizer work, soundscapes, drums, whatever is natural.
How about you, Lily?
Well, I started pretty early with the piano, but I didn't really want to continue with that. So I eventually start playing the guitar, the violin, and the drums. So those are my three main instruments. Yeah.
Nice. How about you?
I started out playing different instruments like in elementary school, middle school, and high school, but I kind of gave that up and pursued more of the recording side of the music. And
that's cool. I wish I could play those instruments.
yeah.
Yeah. Then when did you start working on computer music?
I started, mainly I was more interested in the recording aspect of it. And then for me personally, I never thought of myself as like a great performer. I don't want to do it competitively. So I just kind of dabbled with recording back in like middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and just kind of played around with like microphones. So that was, and then so I guess that started the whole computer music thing for me.
You got interested in
recording
with your computers from then?
Well, mostly recording of what I'm playing, so not really like doing anything MIDI, just recording like guitar and then voice. And, yeah.
How about you guys?
I've always really been interested in weird sounds, so you could always do one thing at a time with that kind of, I used to hook my guitar up and run microphones to amplifiers and make them do really weird things together, but as a whole you couldn't make it sound larger, so I started going towards computers and samplers and recording those and then just kind of composing them all together to make it more interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like for your major, so can you list some like professional computer music techniques that you all use all the time?
Well, me, for example, like I said, I don't particularly compose music as much as I kind of would want to. So I use it to speed up processes in recording. Like before, you had tape machines in a recording studio, and prior to that, something else. But after each take, you would have to sit there and wait for the tape to rewind. Like sitting there. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you can think about what you're doing. But like now, I just hit one button on the computer and I can replay it again. I don't have to wait for something to, rewind or.
How about you, Jamie? How can computer help you when you compose?
Unfortunately, I shouldn't admit this, but when you mess up, it's really easy to just go back and be like, oh, I messed that one note up, and then just have it play that 1 second, even millisecond of music, and then just like say if you're playing guitar and just hit the right note, and then just kind of fade it in so that it sounds natural.
Deceiving.
One thing about computer music too is a lot of people that are recording engineers look down upon that because it's almost like anyone in their bedroom can make music, even if they're not good at writing music or playing their instrument. They can kind of fake it. So it's
a lot about the person too, because you can give people access to this technology that they can do things without actually having to learn an instrument or do anything like that. But you can't, get creativity out of that box. You have to bring that to the table. You can't rely on technology to help you with something like creative like that.
And that's the beauty of computer music, is that if you are creative, you can use it to your advantage versus just using it as a crutch to not being good at something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it seems like computer software can do everything for you. Is there anything that it can't do?
a machine
computers
can't write your music for you. I mean,
Yeah.
technically you could probably figure out some kind of formula to make music for you, but it'll be kind of lifeless. I mean, it
Yeah.
hasn't been figured out yet.
Like as an example, to access to like a different set of tools. Like you might use a hammer to like actually hammer a nail. I might use it to like break a window. You know, it's
Yeah.
whatever you use it for.
Yeah,
a lot.
I know that. I heard that computer can imitate the sound of a real instrument. Can it imitate the exact sound?
No.
I think
Yeah.
that's up for debate. Like
Yeah,
if you were to
that's
ask
a
me,
big debate.
yeah, if you were to ask me or Jamie,
And
I think we'd prefer the real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person I delve really into psychoacoustics, and it's the cognitive level of how you understand sound, and they might not know there's a lot of terms I'm not going to throw out there, but they might not understand what it is that comprises that instrument. But so they'll be, oh, it sounds like a trumpet, and then you play them a real sound of a trumpet, and they're like, oh, it sounds the same. But to someone that's a little more experienced in what instruments sound like, you can't be fooled. I've never heard a computer-generated sound that they go, oh yeah, it sounds like a saxophone, or oh, it sounds like a violin.
Yeah.
It sounds similar, but
And
yeah. I mean,
like even I don't think like if you want to like really put a magnifying glass into like an instrument itself, like the guitar, if you pluck like one string, and if you pluck it again, it's not going to sound exactly the same.
Yeah,
Because like when you pluck one string, it's gonna have like a certain wave. That's how sound is made. It's by waveforms. And if you plug it again, and then, like there's a certain time, like it's not going to be the exact same. So in a way, like instrument can't sound the same the first time and the second time together, in a way. So it's always very hard to imitate. But with the computer, like if you play and replay, every like sine waves are the same. So I guess that a computer can imitate a computer, but
yeah, you could like
Right.
you could randomize
Right.
where the waveform
Yeah.
starts,
Exactly.
but I think the point that you're also Lily's getting to is that like it's the player that makes the
Right.
instrument sound like an instrument. I mean,
Right.
if a computer's just sitting there, even if you gave a guitar to a computer and it had an arm and it was plucking in the same spot, it would just sound pretty lifeless. It would just sound like someone banging on something. It wouldn't. There's not the beauty and not the interaction that's in there.
Now many popular songs we listen to are made by computer software. How do you think the ICAM music affects the industry?
ICAM major probably affects the industry by having very bright people. A few that I've actually got me into the major that I know are just creating programs that just blow my mind. And if it wasn't for that major, those people might be a little more stifled, whereas this major kind of grabs the weirdos and goes, okay, hey, this is the computer software we have. You can do anything you want with it. And that's really cool. I really like that a lot about it.
Yeah.
So for the pop music market,
I wouldn't say pop music. Yeah, it's more for like
Yeah.
the weird artsy kids.
now many pop music take advantages of ICAM music techniques.
Mm.
So what do you think make the ICAM music techniques so popular?
I think how Jamie was saying, yeah, it's not electronic music. Maybe is not particularly totally pop music, but they'll take like the smallest little bit of what like everyone can understand and
Okay.
appreciate from that,
Yeah.
and use it in pop music, and that's just like a trend that you would see like in music or like in fashion. Something changes or comes back. It's just that's what it is, I think.
Yeah, and even like Lily was saying, a lot of electronic music, you can actually make more money than an actual musician now. I make a lot less playing in a band
Yeah.
and playing a show somewhere than I do if I go DJ somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad, but sometimes you gotta make the money.
Yeah, you get one
Yeah.
paycheck. You either
Yeah, I
divide
gotta
it between 5 people
pay
or
rent.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
So you can bring a computer anywhere. It's easier. It's like lighter and
a lot lighter. You don't need a van for it.
Yeah.
Cargo van.
So you guys all like the major a lot,
Mhm.
like ICAM music a lot. Do you
Mhm.
think since it's so powerful and popular, it can do everything? And do you think it will actually take over the traditional instruments in the future
I hope not.
someday. No.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think it came about to like replace anything. I think it's just another thing you can use. So I don't think it'll ever replace like traditional musical instruments, but it can be used in conjunction or just as a standalone.
It does make me a little bit afraid though, because I used to work in a guitar store, and a lot of teenagers, when you start learning guitar, usually it's around 12 to 15, and boys, girls, anyone, like kids love the guitar because they see their favorite band playing on TV and they're playing the guitar and like, oh, I want to be that, I want to do that. Now on TV you see DJs and electronic music, so we started noticing, this is maybe 4 years ago, but we started noticing sales go down because people would come in, they'd be, instead of asking, oh, can I get a guitar for $200, it was, do you guys carry turntables? Do you guys carry electronic software?
Right.
And you see that a lot of kids are getting into electronic music because it's so accessible, and it's not easy to learn, but it's a lot easier than learning how to play guitar.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much, and playing any instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of
And,
people like to take the easy way out and just be like, oh, I can make music in
Yeah,
like 10
I'm-
minutes.
yeah,
so-
So like I'm
Just
kind
like
of afraid,
that.
kind of in a way also because like when I started playing the violin and the guitar, there's so many like techniques and beautiful techniques that you have to learn with your hands and everything. But now I think those techniques are starting to like decrease. I mean, I play the violin, but they don't really like care too much about it and how to make like a really good sound. It's like, oh, I can just use the computer to make my playing better or something. So I think in that aspect, as a musician, I think people are starting to like not focus as much as how to play an instrument really well. But I don't know. I think there are still some people out there who want.
There's always a
there's
desire.
a desire
Right.
to
You know?
really learn.
I mean, computer music is fun, but to interact with the instrument is just, I mean, every
Yeah.
instrument I've ever played, I still play to this day. It just, I never could just go, okay, I'm kind of done with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You're never really
Just go
done with
back
an
to it.
instrument.
Yeah.
You can't really master how to play the drums, or you're always learning if
Always
you're a good
learning something.
musician.
Mm.
Right.
But even computer music, like I've seen a lot of people, like I said, really bright people creating things that I just go, whoa, how'd you even come up with that? That's awesome. It's just the same as, when I was younger and play guitar through really weird guitar pedals and they'd change the sound. People are like, oh, how'd you do that? It's the same thing. A lot of techniques to be discovered.
Right. I think it's different. Like for like for an instrument like the violin, people focus on how to play like one note really correctly, and it's like and then like how smooth it is and whatever. But for a computer, I mean, like you just play one note and it's the same all the time. But for computer, it's all about ideas and creativity, whereas for an instrument, sometimes you focus on one note.
The skills.
Right.
You know what's really awesome about computers is that when you play a show in front of people, the only thing that can go wrong is your computer could crash on you.
Oh yeah.
Versus like your bass player getting too drunk and like
Yeah.
not playing very well, or like you messing the wrong note up.
That's happened.
It's
More consistent.
it's
I
more
guess.
consistent, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I guess.
People ask me, "Oh, what are you studying, Lily?" And I'm like, "ICAM." And then it's like, "What is ICAM?" And I was like, "It's called Interdisciplinary Computing and Arts under the music department." And then I explained. So that's a very good conversation starter.
Yeah, the name sounds
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you all again for coming today.
you.
I hope you enjoyed
Thanks for having
it.
us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
And I wish you have a bright career in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.